really enjoy letting you all in and having the quick chit chat here. So, hello, everybody, and welcome. First of all, thanks so much for joining us this evening. I know you could do all kinds of other things with it all cold and not balmy outside sometime today. Whether you're here because Italy has always been on your bucket list, because you have Italian roots calling you home, or because you adore just food and wine. And I know there's some STEM girls out there who have their beverage of choice in hand, or simply because you love learning about new destinations. We're delighted to have you with us tonight. For those who might not know me, my name is Renee, and I'm the owner of Red Orchid Travel and the founder of Red Orchid Women's Travel Tours. And one of my greatest joys is introducing our community to destinations that are authentic, meaningful, rich in culture. And of course, tonight's journey is exactly that. This is not simply just a trip to Italy. This is Southern Italy, the Italy of family recipes passed down through generations. And Stanley Tucci once said, and said many times since, Italy is a dream that keeps returning for the rest of your life. How many people go to Italy and they're just waiting to return once more after that? So I'm thrilled to introduce someone else here. My friend Heidi comes to me. I've known her for quite some time, and she knows the itinerary for Southern Italy inside and out. Heidi has a real passion for the country, and she's going to walk us through this incredible journey. And it's the destination, the experience, the accommodation, the inclusions, and all the wonderful details that make this trip so special. Hello, Heidi.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be able to talk about Amalfi Coast and Puglia. This is an amazing itinerary, and I'm so thrilled to talk about it and share it with you all. And I've got some Stanley Tucci quotes in there, because he really is like that. When you watch that show, if anybody's seen Tucci in Italy, I'm already on season 2, watching it with my husband. It's like immediately you want to go and you want to taste it. And there's just nothing like it, especially when it's a beautiful, warm, sunny day and you're meeting all of these great people. So I'm going to walk you through what it is that we're doing. I don't know if Renee wanted to say anything else, but we can wrap it up at the end. And there's lots of different things that we can talk about. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm not going to be able to see anybody because I'm going to be moving through the presentation. And we do have, a nice little video in there, etc. So this Italy, Amalfi Costa Puglia, it is a 14-day itinerary. It is breathtaking, and you get to stray off the beaten path and explore a really new side to the Italy that you know and love, and hopefully will grow to know more and love more. And you make your way through this beautiful area of southern Italy and really experience the Amalfi Coast and the Puglia region. So, my name is Heidi. I'm with a company called Colette, and this is what we do best. So I wanted to kind of just show you what the tour at a glance is. The biggest thing about what we do is we immerse ourselves in this destination through real gentle pacing. So when you're looking at this itinerary, you can see right away that it really is positioned to be such a gentle ease through this beautiful country and through this beautiful part of the country. So, we're doing an overnight flight. And then, of course, we're spending some time in Naples. We have great time doing Amalfi Coast for a few nights, and then Matera. Matera is one of those cities that is not necessarily thought of as a, bucket list destination or one of those places that you would see on an itinerary with somebody else that's traveling. It's one of those places that's a little bit out of the way. And we really do cherish some of the places that we go to on this itinerary because we're seeing a lot of talk in the news about over tourism, right? Barcelona is talking about being too many tourists. We're not tourists. We're travelers. Where do we go? We go to the places that are lesser known. We go to these secondary cities and really get to know the locals that live there because it's quieter, but it gives you that experience of really feeling like you're immersed in Italy itself. And then we do Lecce, beautiful Lecce on the coast, and then Alberobello. So let me just walk you through the itinerary. We call this an explorations itinerary, and really the name speaks for itself. It really is, an average group size of 19. We've got obviously this whole coach, and this is all for you. So if you've got anybody, obviously this itinerary is going to sell out really, really fast. We only have a maximum of 24 spaces. And
And
it's
that
really,
includes me.
sorry?
And that includes me.
That includes Renee, exactly. So you know what? Got to leave space for the person that's leading the tour. Um, but it's a real connection to culture. It's really ideal, these types of itineraries for the culturally curious. You're going to come home with all of these stories. And knowing Renee and knowing Red Orchid Travel the way that I do, because, we've worked together in many different capacities, I know that you will have stories to tell. I've heard some of those stories, and believe me, I'm like, oh my God, to be a fly on the wall, complete fear of missing out over here. But you get to say yes to these great experiences, and the accommodations are that amazing vibe because they fit in with this small group explorations tour because it's unique. It's not your standard cookie cutter properties, and we know that you like those ones. The really sort of immersive boutique style properties that you love. And that's what we build into these itineraries. And it's socially responsible impact moments that really help the local economy and help the local people. And so you get to experience it through different eyes. And it's such an amazing experience. Now, we say most of our Italy tours are a tour activity level 3, but it really just gives you that rating because you're going to be walking for up to 2.5 hours at a moderate pace, but that's a moderate pace where you're stopping to eat and stopping to drink another glass of wine and maybe take another picture of the scenery. So we know what these types of tours are like. There's going to be a little bit of walking, a little bit of sightseeing. And it's mainly because of the different modes of transportation and the ferries. And, we're not going to spend a lot of time on and off the coach because we're spending more time in the destination. So some days we don't even touch the coach. And it really is, you know, really a tour for those people that want to experience the land. And that's what it's made for. And when we talk about this particular beautiful area of Italy, and I'm going to show a video, and Stanley Tucci really said it best. There's Italy the way everyone sees it, and then there's the Italy the way the Italians live it. And these are the trattorias with no sign on the door, the hilltop villages where time slows down on purpose. And that's what he, said. He's got so many great quotes about Italy because he just embodies Italy in itself. But this is the Italy we explore and immerse you in as travelers, not tourists. We are embracing the country as it is meant to be seen, to be felt, through the gentle pacing that we really offer. So I'm going to show this little video and you get to meet Paolo. He's my favorite.
Ciao a tutti, buongiorno. I'm Paolo, tour manager, and I would like to show you the Amalfi Coast. This is something special about traveling in this part of Italy in spring and fall, walking on your own, taking your time to enjoy the shops. Here we are on the beautiful beach of Positano, and it is March. Actually, it's a gorgeous day without the heat of the summer, which is a fantastic feeling. And it is a fantastic time of the year to enjoy this area because, as you can see, there are not many crowds. This is all for you guys.
And again, when we talk about secondary cities, we're talking about all the places that we're visiting on this tour, and it's just that beautiful area that we get to feel and just immerse ourselves in. So we start in Naples, which is, a vibrant Mecca for locals and travelers alike. And it really is where the food scene is. And it's bustling, and you've got these beautiful volcanic landscapes that give way to medieval, architecture, really unique culture that's exclusive to Naples. And it's actually the third largest city in Italy and a cultural and political hub of the Campania region. The city sits at the base of Mount Vesuvius, overlooking the Bay of Naples. And again, it's everybody knows Naples for its pizza, but there's so many different side streets and beautiful places that you can visit that are a little bit away from all of the crazy traffic, which does happen in Naples. But it was also the home of the last Spanish king who ruled over the Kingdom of Two Sicilies from his massive castle that's located near the port. And today, the city center is really a mix of post-World War II era modern, buildings and a few historic treasures that really did survive the bombing. So it's a beautiful place to see. And then we settle into our home for the next 3 nights and just admire that stunning view. Um, there's no scheduled sightseeing for that day, and you get to spend the day as you wish and just, explore. Maybe get a group together and go find a local cafe. The tour director is there to assist with finding all of the local beautiful spots. And then you have this fantastic dinner that overlooks the deep blue bay of Naples, to Mount Vesuvius looming in the distance. You know, he really says, talking about Stanley Tucci, you think about, North America, farm to table, farm to fork. In the Western world, people are not really learning how to cook, and they have to learn how to cook. Cooking really embraces everything in Italy, and it's really about that connection, and that's really what we're going for when we talk about this itinerary and what we're showing you. And Naples Historic City Center is viewed, and we get to see all of these great things on day 3 when we're traveling around. And its historic city center is still a UNESCO Heritage World Site. And there's, some underground ancient ruins that we explore with one of our local guides as we walk through Naples. And then when we have all of that done, we get to have a little bit of an afternoon at leisure. There's a nearby National Archaeological Museum that peruse relics from Pompeii and Ercolano. So there's lots of different things that you can do as that downtime. And again, it's a leisurely pace. It's very much explore it, take it all in, and just appreciate the fact that you're in this beautiful place. And so we have what we call an impact moment. And an impact moment really is, trying to support Italian heritage and help, the enterprise that we're going to be visiting helps ease the city's high unemployment. And the impact moment actually comes in the form of a private concert. So we do see this beautiful concert performed by Napolitanata, which is a social enterprise, and it offers a real authentic journey into the heart of Neapolitan culture, offers this beautiful, genuine, and meaningful experience. And it's a concert hall that's dedicated to the Neapolitan music heritage, particularly to the classical Neapolitan song and tarantella. So you get to experience it and just really immerse yourself in all of that culture, which is just fantastic. And then we have a day where you get to explore this beautiful, lively city of Naples on your own. Or we have an optional excursion, and that means that you get to sail to the enchanting Isle of Capri. Now,
Yes.
we don't offer a lot of optionals. That's not what we're about. We want to make sure that what we're offering you, you get. You can see it, you can see it in the itinerary, and so we don't offer a lot of optionals because we believe, you need to save that money for more wine and prosecco, maybe buying some limoncello, and
You
gelato. I know you ladies. This is important, right? You need to experience the culture through the many flavors. And when we talk about the views of Capri, which is our optional excursion, we have this delightful cruise to the enchanting Isle of Capri, and you get to sail past the hill towns and along the Amalfi coast. You pass the colorful homes. You see the world famous Piazzetta and explore the island of, beautiful chic boutiques, some great vegetation, all of those beautiful outdoor cafes that you can sit at. And then we have a guide, which is going to give us this beautiful panoramic drive of Anacapri, which is a little commune on the island of Capri to sample, the local food and wine. It's a really good thing to do while you're there. And then you get to sail back to Napoli in the afternoon. And it's such a great experience because you're not driving. Somebody else is doing that for you. You just get to sit back and just really experience the beauty of everything to do with the Isle of Capri. And it's such an amazing experience. So then the next day, we go to the western foot of Mount Vesuvius, and we begin the day exploring the archaeological site of Herculaneum in Ercolano. And you just get to really imagine Roman society during that time of the past as you wander through all of these excavated ruins of Ercolano with this fantastic guide and just imagine what life was like during that time. And so one of the less crowded secondary cities, this particular city was actually destroyed in the same Mount Vesuvius eruption that befell Pompeii. Unlike its more popular known neighbor that was covered in ash and it was buried, this particular city was buried under a thicker layer of compacted volcanic rock. So it's actually the better preserved city of the two, but it's the less visited. So it's just a little bit more of an authentic experience. And you get to admire these, near perfect buildings that, have been excavated. There's household items that you can see, even food that was, buried in these excavated grounds. So it's a really unique experience. Well, talking about food, then we get to visit a pasta factory and taste this fantastic, iconic Italian dish right where it was produced. And we have this beautiful little light lunch and talk to the people that make the pasta and the family and just really find out about their lives and just how they survive and what it's like to live there. Um, Maybe one of you is going to buy something when you're there. Maybe you might keep your eye on something where hey, let's buy an apartment. You might get an idea that you might want to move. But you know what? It's just a fantastic place. It's just so beautiful. And then you get to watch the sun fade along the horizon in the coastal town of Minori, which is your new home for the next 3 nights. And I just want to stress that it's 3 nights. It's 3 nights where you get to stay put. Your luggage is taken care of as well. So when you're staying in all of these places, you're not touching your bags. Somebody else is doing that for you. So you don't even have to worry about it until you get to your hotel. It's such a delight to not have to worry about how you're going to move your luggage from place to place. It's one of those real sort of luxuries of traveling that you have that ability to just say, you can take my bags to my room now, please. I'll see it in a little bit once I've finished, exploring. And this particular place is actually a fishing village of terraced lemon groves. Minori really does exude that quintessential Amalfitana is what they call it, the Amalfitana vibe. And it's just so stunning. And so when we're there, we get to journey by boat, through the Amalfi, which of course is the Rocky Coast's namesake town. The Amalfi Coast really does feature this 32-mile long coastal drive that really does hug the cliff as you pass through some of these picturesque fishing villages of Positano, Amalfi, Minori, among others. And the coast is really famed for its breathtaking views, local cuisine, and of course the drinks like limoncello, which is just beautiful when you pair it into an Aperol spritz. You can replace the Aperol with a limoncello and make it a limoncello spritz. I found that out at my local Italian restaurant. It's really good. The ferry boat, obviously, we do take this ferry boat, and it just gives us that beautiful little experience of being able to see everything from the water. So really a delight. And the town that we're in, it's formerly a maritime republic. Amalfi really puts a amazing historic spin on this seaside hub, and there's these beautiful cobblestone piazzas and towering mosaic cathedrals, everything that you would expect when you think about the Amalfi Coast and just some of the scenery that you may have seen in movies and food shows. And when we're off of the ferry, after a few hours, the ferry, you can walk past some of these tumbling cliffs and pastel colored houses on your way to Positano. So it's a beautiful place to visit. And we get to enjoy this beautiful town for, a free afternoon, perhaps browsing the shops, boutiques, or resting along the beach. And then we return to Minori by ferry. So it's a beautiful little way to see all of these coastal towns, on water. You're not on a coach. You're able to see all of these beautiful scenery and just really appreciate it for what it is. And then we do this beautiful responsible travel highlight, which is my background, is this beautiful farm visit, the limoncello farm visit. And again, it's a responsible travel highlight because we visit this local farm. It's a family-owned organic farm, so we get to really see them and talk about their livelihood and, how they started making this limoncello and how many generations have been doing it. And so we start the morning in this beautiful garden and learn about fusato lemons, which are used specifically for limoncello. And then we make our own limoncello in this small family organic farm. And you get to sample, of course, the fragrant liquor, before you go a little bit, sightseeing along the coast. So um, be careful how much you drink. You don't want to stumble as you're walking, but you do get to sample it, and it's just amazing. And you can buy some while you're there. And next, you trek through the rugged path of lemons, which is an ancient hilly route that links Minori with the nearby town, Maiori, among the coast's lemon groves. So you get to take in the panoramic views of the vegetation, the lemon trees, the terraces, the coastlines, and then you get to explore a little bit on your own before returning by boat. So it's a beautiful little hike. And if you don't want to do it, there's other options. You could talk to the tour director just in case you don't want to walk. You could stay back and have some more limoncello or find a way to get back to Maori. But it's a beautiful little hike. And again, it's just beautiful because of the terraced, hilltops and the farms. And so in the afternoon, you have a choice. It's included. When we say it's your choice and you see a slide like this, it's something that we've already included in the cost. It's not an optional. It's something that you can do, and you just get to choose which one you want to do, and that's your activity. So you can either visit the Villa Ruffolo, and you can gaze out at these, beautiful plants and vegetation and look at the spectacular Amalfi Coast, or you can just relax in Minori and discover some of the laid back atmosphere of the Italian Dolce Vita. I mean, the gardens are beautiful, but I'd be right there with that, beautiful little espresso and those pastries because, give me a cannoli any day and a nice little path, and then that you work your way to the Prosecco in the afternoon. But it's just amazing. So the romantic gardens itself of the Villa Ruffolo and Ravello, known as the Garden of the Soul, you make your way through this beautiful lattice work of hedges and flowers and get to view that beautiful azure water below. And honestly, the picture doesn't do it justice. Um, the terrace gardens overlook the dramatic Amalfi Coast, and there's a lot of inspiration through these gardens because the composer Wagner um, actually used these gardens as his inspiration for when he was writing his operas. So there's a lot of musical history here as well. Or you can take your time and spend a delightful afternoon in the charming village of Minori, and have a little bit of relaxation, maybe a little indulgence, take a leisurely break, maybe go to a local pastry shop where you can savor all of that freshly brewed coffee paired with delectable pastries and just really take in that beautiful atmosphere. So it's a real stunner. Uh, and then we do this other little responsible travel highlight the following day, and we get to visit the Barlotti Mozzarella Farm. And so we actually discover this delectable cheese, and we visit this dairy farm, and their cheese is made from buffalo that roam free on some of their lush pastures, and they're fed by the farm's own sustainable bounty. And you get to taste their freshly made mozzarella when you have lunch at the farm. So it's a really nice little place to eat, and just again learn about the impact and just again I feel like I'm Stanley Tucci. I'm talking about all of the stuff, and it's really a something that he would film. All of these different places that we stop and eat lunch and meet the locals. It's just one of those great places. And then we continue south to Matera, which is a UNESCO Heritage World Site. It's been featured in blockbuster films. You get to walk in the footsteps of all of these beautiful, ancient ancestors and experience the town's cave dwellings. And we have, caves that are really unique. They're half excavated, they're half carved from the land. And these are the accommodations, in these unparalleled accommodations, you get to connect with the Italian landscape like never before. So your home for the next 2 nights are the town's cave dwellings. So really, really unique. And you get to visit Matera with a choice of activities. So, archaeologists predict, the people began living in the area around 7,000 BC. Your accommodations have been updated since then, just so you know, so don't worry about it. The the Sassy of Matera is what they're called, are a unique urban structure of cave dwellings that are carved out of the stone ravines. And the community of the stone dwellings were inhabited by nearly 15,000 people up until about the 1950s. And the site is also home to a number of ancient stone churches. So it's really, really fascinating. And the site has been filming locations for many Christian films. The architecture really resembles ancient Jerusalem. Most recently, Sassi di Matera was actually used as a filming location in the new Wonder Woman movie, serving as the Amazon's home in Paradise Island. So lots of really unique aspects of this town, and it's just so stunningly beautiful. Um, and then we get to have a your choice again. So you either get to hike into Matera's 9,000-year-old history on a guided walking tour, or you can discover some of the local recipes during a cooking demonstration inside one of the rock dwellings, which is actually quite unique. So you get to explore the hillside caves, narrow passages, and then you learn about all of the history of the site from your guide. And then, or you can do the second option, which of course is, you're connecting with this local culture during a unique culinary experience, and you discover some of the traditional recipes that they use that have been passed down through the generations. So a really, really unique aspect of that. And then you get to explore. You get to have some time to explore more of Matera's heritage. You could maybe visit the remarkable, Palambaro Longo, which is the underground water system, or you could head out of town for a hike through the surrounding countryside. There's lots of prehistoric caves and medieval rock churches. And then we head into the Puglia region. And, we cross into the Puglia region and pause, of course, at a wine museum. Why wouldn't we? To learn about the special wines produced in Puglia. What I love about this, and what I love about some of the things that we do, we get to experience some of these places and, through the food and the culture, but then you get to see some of these things and take home some of these things that you wouldn't be able to get here. We have all of these great, Italian restaurants and Italian markets, but it's only a real small sample of what you can get while you're there. The buffalo mozzarella farm, the beautiful limoncello, the fact that you're going to be looking at and sampling special wines made in Puglia. You can't get that at any liquor store in Canada. There's lots of different things that you wouldn't be able to find here that you would find there. And once you've tasted it, it's going to be one of those things that you're going to be thinking about for the rest of your lives. And you're probably just going to have to go back again to get more wines, just the way it goes. But it's an amazing experience to be able to see something that you wouldn't be able to find here. It's just such a unique aspect of it and such a small piece of what Italy is about. And then we continue on to Lecce, which is a Baroque powerhouse of limestone, just beautiful city. And you get to know the city with a local expert and take in its, iconic architecture. It almost looks like papier-mâché. It's funny because there's this craftsmanship, and you'll see it when you get there. It looks like some of the buildings have got some papier-mâché on it, but it's this little craftsmanship, this style of the way that they decorated and built these places. Um, and then we continue on. The next day, we visit this beautiful, picturesque village of Otranto, and we enjoy, the winding lanes and hidden cafes, and you can take your time and have a relaxing lunch along the sea, and maybe enjoy your time at leisure in one of the pearls of Salento. Um, Nestled in Puglia's easternmost corner, this particular seaside town is, you know, rich in history. You've got Greek, you've got Romans, you've got Byzantines, you've got Ottomans, Spaniards, and French, all really vied for the control of this, port. And Italy's gateway to the Levant and Holy Land, and that's really what it was. It was, struggling, and lots of fights going on to contain this port town. And the city's Aragonese castle really inspired Horace Walpole's The Castle of Otranto, which is 1764 it was written. It was recognized as the first Gothic novel. And then we have a little bit of a evening celebration where we actually have a private folk music and dance performance. Really highlights the traditional pizzica e Taranta, which is this type of dance that they do. And according to legend, it's a really funny thing, but according to legend, spider bites cause the women to dance with a feverish energy. So I don't know how it came about, but that's really that's really the explanation for the way the dance is. It's a little bit more graceful than that because to me, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it's a little bit erratic, but it's not. It's just the way that they dance. But that's the legend as to why the dance was what it was. And then we stop in Ostruni the next day, the Ostuni, which is a beautiful whitewashed town surrounded by olive groves. And it's a place that it's been, inhabited since the Stone Age. Ostuni is really famous for the olive oil, the wine, and the Old Town, which is a section of the city built on a hill, and it's topped with this citadel and surrounded by all of these beautiful ancient walls. And it's again another one of those hidden gems that not a lot of people see. And you get to zoom through the city of Estuni like a local on this little open air ape calcino, which is a traditional three-wheeled car. So hold on to your hats, ladies, because it's going to be a little bit fast. You'll get an incredible overview of the entire city during an unforgettable tour, unlike any other, as you're whisked through the streets. And it's such a unique, colloquial part. It's so Italy, like this particular journey and the way that they do it. It's just so incredibly Italy. And it's going to be one of your highlights. It's an amazing little way to see everything about Ostuni. So we enjoy our time in Estuni, have a little bit of downtime, just kind of wandering and maybe buying some souvenirs before we continue to Alberobello, which is this beautiful, whimsical city known for its truly the stone huts with the coned shaped roofs. And we take our time to meander through a beautiful labyrinth of these gnomish houses, and the Truly are known for their distinct cone-shaped roofs and their bronze-aged homes, traditionally made of limestone, sometimes feature various symbols on the rooftops, either with a religious or superstitious connotation. And then you have the afternoon to explore, um, and then you get to make your way to your personal room in one of these peculiar little houses that will be your home for the next 2 nights. I can't imagine anything more spectacular. And, it's really unique part. And I was listening to something that one of our product managers said, because all of the people that design our tours for our company are based in the destination. And she has such a great relationship with the people that she meets and are, a showcase for some of the tours that we do. And she was saying that, when you're looking at these different places, the truly houses are in these really narrow streets. So, it's almost like you're passing regular houses in order to get to your room because they're part of a whole sequence of different buildings where people live and dine and, sell their wares. I mean, you can see in the picture here, there's a place to sell souvenirs. Your room is probably a little bit up from that. But it's just a really unique option to be able to stay there. And you're there for 2 whole nights, which is just really beautiful because you get to experience this whole area. And then one of the days that we're there, we take a tour to an olive mill and get to taste a variety of extra virgin olive oils. And then back in Alberobello, you get to, enjoy some more free time and just explore the city on your own. It's just a great experience. And as the day draws to a close, we say goodbye to Italy at a farewell dinner, and just have that amazing experience to talk about all of the fantastic things that you did as a group, and plan your next adventure or maybe plan coming back. It's just one of those great things to do. We do have a pre-night. Or you could do a post night and you could stay in Alberobello for longer if you wanted to. So it's an optional post night stay. But on top of that, there's also the pre-adventure. So I like to call it a pre-adventure because it sets you up for the rest of the tour. You can choose an optional tour night, 2-night pre-tour Naples extension. The good thing about this is it is fully guided. So, you could easily do this. It's, features all the great inclusions of a full tour. You get daily breakfast, some lunches and dinners, sightseeing, local experiences are all included and led by one of our tour managers or local expert. And your overnight accommodations and transfers are included to and from the airport. So everything is done for you. And it's a great little chance to explore um, the destination fully before your tour. So it's a really great area to visit. Of course, we're starting in Naples with the regular tour, but it's great to do a pre-tour because, you're visiting Naples. It's a city of contrasts. It's, grandiose buildings, expansive plazas, and, some of that narrow streets with the medieval atmosphere. And you have somebody helping you, providing with suggestions. And, you have that chance to just check into your hotel, perhaps, journey into Naples for, its most iconic food, which of course is pizza. Anybody seen Eat, Pray, Love? It's one of my favorite parts of that movie is Italy. I'm not into the let's go to Thailand and find ourselves. It's more about let's go to Italy. And if I have to buy a bigger sized pair of jeans just so I can actually eat the pizza, then that's what I'll do. Seriously, it's my most favorite part. I'm like, who cares? Buy the bigger size of clothing. You got to eat the pasta. You got to eat the pizza. It's the experience. But it's just amazing. And one of the things that we do when we're on this tour is we actually get to sail to the enchanting Isle of Ischia aboard a high-speed ferry. And it's a beautiful small island with lush gardens and picturesque castles. And of course, you have the services of a local guide while you're there. And then you have a guided walking tour of Naples' lively Pigna Seca market. And you get to taste your way around the old town, exploring Naples' exciting street food scene because it is immense. It's all about the food, and you wind your way through this maze-like section of town and discover this beautiful, ebullient atmosphere, as they call it. And then you get to explore a little bit more of Naples on your own. Maybe go to the Capodimonte Museum, which is famous for its vast collection of Renaissance and Baroque paintings, and just have a, stroll along the waterfront, taking the views of the Castel d'Ovo Castle, and just, being by the water. So this beautiful experience is June 10th to the 23rd of next year. In order to secure your spot, it's only $898 per person. Plus your cancel for any reason insurance, which I'll talk about in a minute. But this is fully refundable until November the 6th. Really, really great time to hold the spot, to put your intention down for next year. What else do you have going on? You need something to look forward to. You got to think about the wine and the limoncello and all of these great experiences you're going to have. It's nice to have something down in a calendar that you can plan for, so that you're going to be responsible for making sure you have enough money when you get back to buy those pairs of jeans to increase the size because you've eaten all the food. But it is an experience. Plan for this experience, plan for this bucket list trip. You can't wait on it. It's one of those amazing experiences. If not now, when? Right? And then final payment's not due until March 12th. So we have a land-only option and an air-inclusive option. Honestly, the air price is amazing. Land-only is $8,000, $8,049 per person based on double plus the insurance. And as I said, I'll talk about the insurance in a minute. Or we have the air-inclusive rate, because we do book air, and it's a great rate. It's $96.49 per person, including the air, based on double plus the insurance.
Plus, it's a multi-trip air
So let me
flight.
briefly talk you through. Plus, exactly, exactly. So this is where Renee's going to come in and put her 2 cents in because she knows more about you ladies than I do. But it's good because this is where we talk about the insurance. The insurance is an amazing option. So we have a no worries travel protection. So what that means is, for that very small cost of $699 per person, there is no medical questionnaire required. There is no age limit. So when we say no worries, we mean that once you purchase that travel insurance, up to 24 hours prior to travel, you could say, I can't go. Doesn't matter the reason why. Doesn't matter. I can't go. And you get a full refund, less the cost of the insurance, back to your form of payment. That's it. And then it also includes, medical baggage loss, if you need to get back to the country for any reason. And it encompasses from the minute that you purchase the insurance with your deposit right up until the day that you get back. And it covers you completely. So that's when I say when you book the air as well, it covers the air also. So if you're booking the air through us and you're taking that insurance and the whole kit and caboodle and you're ready to go, but then 24 hours prior to departure, you're like, I can't go, can't get a dog sitter. In my case, oh my God, my parents dropped the ball and they can't look after my kids. What am I going to do? I can't go. Guess what? Full refund. It's it's a really amazing type of comprehensive plan. And then when it comes to being covered, one of the things that we do say is medication 7 days prior to paying for the deposit. Let me just make sure I've got my internet here because for some reason it's saying it's unstable. Um, as long as you pay for that insurance and it's you're paying your deposit at the same time and it's for 7 days prior to making that deposit you are stable in health and no change in medication, you are covered. That's what it means. So it's a really easy thing to purchase. It's probably one of the best selling things that we have, and it's really that peace of mind for everybody that purchases it. It's just an amazing option. So um, I would encourage you to join us. You've got this beautiful place that you can visit, treasured, memories, rocky shores, cobblestone streets. You're going to get to visit Naples. You have all of those impact moments where, you get to visit the pasta factory, you get to visit Minori, you get to go to the lemon grove, and you get to journey through Amalfi and just have that experience of that Italian landscape and have that, 2 nights in a unique cave dwelling accommodation in Matera, and just really, spend all of that time. You're zooming through Ostuni like a local in the backseat of a three-wheeled Ape Castellino car. And then you get to experience the truly homes of Albarabello. There's no itinerary out there like it, where we have that immense amount of time where it's really gently paced. Um, yeah. And then, of course, the person that's putting it all together, the lady of the hour, Miss Renee Bloxhill. Her contact is right there. You've got everybody, I believe, on this call will know how to get a hold of Renee, from what I gather. And of course, her phone number. But it's just, don't waste another minute. Le Dolce Vita awaits you. It's a beautiful itinerary.
Bravo. I can see myself there already.
I know. Me too. That's why I have this background. I'm like, how close are these lemons? Can I pick one and put one in my drink?
Do you know that their lemons in Italy are like the size of your hands there? They're
So
so
good.
big. All righty. I had one question come in about the price of flights, premium and business. Yes, you can
Yes.
upgrade. We don't have those prices here, do we? Or do you have the price?
So if you're going to do that, when it comes to the pricing, you can if you want to upgrade your in-flight experience for elite airfare. So where we're talking, elite air pricing, premium economy is about $29.90 as an upgrade. But we can look for business class or even first class, but that's kind of the beginning rate. It's an additional rate for that particular premium economy, and we can look for different upgrade options as we move through for sure.
Yes. So not everybody is going to go from
Mhm.
So we could get air potentially from other gateways throughout Canada, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we have a great air department and we can, we've had tours. I did one for the Catholic Women's League last year that did the Jubilee, and they flew from all over Canada just to, meet the tour. So we have multiple gateways that we operate through for sure.
Okay, so let's say someone's coming from Vancouver, they'll have their transfer waiting for them, get them to where we stay.
Yes. So the other thing too, and thank you for pointing that out, when you have air booked with us, when you get to the destination, your transfer is included. And the beauty of that is it doesn't matter what time you get there. You're not going to be waiting with a shuttle service because there's other companies that are like, you have to arrive at 10 or 2 or 3. You literally have somebody picking you up when you get there. No ifs, ands, buts, no questions. Take your luggage, put it in the sedan or the minibus or the coach, depending on how we get to the hotel, and depending on how many people are arriving at once, and off you go. And then
Perfect.
that's the same for when you go back.
Yes, I like that because it's safety. And with women travel, we want safety and we want everybody taken care of very, very well. And this is something that's greatly appealing, believe me.
Yes.
So if you are coming from another gateway, does the price change on the air or is that the same price?
This particular price is based on flying in and out of Toronto, but we can actually get the air costing depending on who's traveling from which gateway. We even have connectors. As long as there's an airline that flies from an airport, we will get you there.
Yeah. Okay. And you might have other people that go with you from the same destination.
Correct. Yeah.
So that works out good. And then we also do a private Facebook page. So a lot of the things that are in here for free time, those are all pre-discussed. People get together already ahead of time and have that going. So another good news piece is I have had my webmaster working very hard and the web page should be up tomorrow afternoon. And all of this information will be all over there as well. This has been recorded. I see another question coming in. Just keep firing them in there, and I'll find them. Okay, I saw something from Lori come in. Is the flight at night on June the 10th? Yes. All the flights are for international going east are going to be an overnight flight. So that's when you get in the destination and you hydrate well, you get outside, get fresh air, and you get something in your belly because
Yes.
usually when we land, they have some little form of snack for you in the plane. The airline, we have it's yet to be determined for the airline, so that'll keep you posted. I've actually, there's so many airlines, so it just depends who they can get for us. It's like their air department will decide with us.
Yep.
Usually we try to get an airline that's mainstream
Yes.
and go with them. So
Yep.
you could have a connection. It depends. I would think Alba, how do you say that? Albabella, coming back from there. Is there a connection? I would imagine there would be one because that's not a large airport.
No, because you basically be flying out of, when you're coming back. So you're actually, yeah, so you're leaving from Albarabello and you're actually flying from the nearest airport in order to get to I'm trying to find the actual map
You
here.
might go back to Naples because it's probably the nearest international.
You fly into Naples, but you fly out of I'm just trying to find the town near Albarabello because it's usually listed, but it's you're flying out. I found it. It's so you're flying into Naples Airport, but you're departing out of Bari.
Okay, Bari. Okay.
Yeah. And the transfers that we have will depart from Albarabello city center to the Bari airport.
Great. I love the porterage because I didn't know that. And I was teasing some ladies today that they weren't allowed a lot of bags because they had to carry their own bags. But honestly, ladies, still one bag, we're not moving in. Your porterage is going to need to be heavily tipped if you bring the kitchen sink.
Yeah. And just on that note, local guides are included. So the only tips that we encourage people, obviously to have a little bit of money left over at the end if you're not spending it all on the wine and the prosecco and the limoncello, um, to bring back with you in your suitcase. We have recommendations when you do travel, for tipping for the driver and the guide, but all of the other tips you don't need to worry about. That's already included in the cost.
And it's just so seamless. You have
Yeah,
the air, the transfers, the insurance, which is, by the way, if
yeah.
you have purchased insurance for a large international trip for
Hmm.
comprehensive, you will know the quality and the great buy that is for everything, and evacuation. So if you need to get home, right, they'll get you home. So
Yeah.
that's a good deal. As well, you have all your hotels, you have the porterage, you've got guides. Maybe we'll get the guide in the video. I was kind of giggling, thinking, I wonder what the ladies are
Every
going to
single time I show that, Renee, honestly, the ladies in the audience are like, "Oh, I think we need to go to Italy. Let's ask for Paolo." And it's always one of those ones that gets a draw. But we do have fantastic guides. They are so incredibly knowledgeable about the whole destination. They live there, and they talk about everything, to do with the tour itself. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So with the transfer from one airport to the other, do we have to get our bags? It should flow seamlessly from one flight to the other. No,
Absolutely.
because you're not changing countries. So if you were changing countries, you might
Hmm.
have to fetch your bag and then get back on the next plane, and do that.
Correct.
So no, it's pretty seamless. You're still in Italy. All the
Hmm.
rest. So yeah, you can add a pre-tour on. I know some people want to go pre-tour.
Yep.
What about that question? Can we deviate the air to account for earlier?
Oh,
Or
for goodness sakes, absolutely. I mean, you could deviate the air to, you could say, you know what, I'm gonna be the oddball and I want to fly British Airways because I want to spend a couple of nights in London. I've done that. I've done that on the way back from Turkey to go visit family. So you know what, as long as you have, and that's the other bonus, and I wanted to stress that too. When you book the air with us and the land together, the insurance covers you still from the minute that you leave Canada, or when you've purchased the insurance, it's covered for cancel for any reason. And again, that includes the flights, but it includes when you're traveling. The only thing it wouldn't cover is anything that's not currently booked with Colette, for example. So if you're going to be flying, let's say you deviate the air for you know comment's sake, and you do decide that you're going to go via London, right? The hotels that you book there and the meals that you eat are not covered by the insurance, but the air to get you there and then to get you to your following destination, that's covered by the insurance the minute that you pay that deposit.
right. Right. Okay. So thanks, Janet. I guess I didn't see that. Okay. Asked about the meals. There's 18 meals included
Hmm.
on this trip.
Yeah.
So there's all breakfasts, some lunches, and dinners.
Hmm.
Also, single occupancy. Yes, we have a few solo rooms available.
Yes.
So if you want one, I wouldn't wait. And can you go
No.
over the pricing for the solo, Heidi?
Yeah. So when you're looking at the solo, give me 2 seconds. So right now, when we're looking at the cost, let me just go back to the cost slide. So when you're looking at the cost for land only, the solo, let me just go back to the solo cost. So when you're looking at the solo cost, if you're doing the land only, you're looking at a cost of 9,549. And that's the land only for the single room. If you're doing the air inclusive rate, you're looking at 11,249.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I got to say that air is a very good buy, especially when we're going into one area and coming back another with a transfer. That's
Yeah.
really good and seamless, like you
Yes.
said. So I like that. Just waiting to see if anybody might have more questions in the chat, or feel free to take your voice or your mute, get on mute. Dietary needs. You know what? This trip is going to be like the others. all the places we're going are going to be what they are because they already be predetermined. So if you have special dietary needs, let us know. And hopefully something can be arranged for you in the area. But specifically, if we're going to a buffalo mozzarella farm, obviously we're going to be having the food from
Correct.
the location where we are.
Yep. Yep.
So you might have to, bring along snacks for yourself for that one.
But as long as you tell us in advance, there's ways that we can accommodate that. I mean, just as an added thing, I wanted to say, because my brother is celiac, and so he cannot have, and he's also uh, he's non-symptomatic, so he doesn't even realize when he has been glutened, I guess you could say. Italy is probably the best place for anybody that has to have gluten-free, surprisingly enough.
Yes.
It's one of the best countries for that. So if you do have any type of dietary requirements, just let us know. We can accommodate it. We will make sure that you are not just eating vegetables if you can't have something that's being served. We make sure that we take care of everybody. This is your vacation. It's so important to make sure that you enjoy it.
Oh, and like she said, I mean, you're going to need larger waisted jeans, but there are no calories. I don't know why anybody is going to think that.
The wine
I
takes care of the calories. You eat a bowl of pasta, you drink a glass of wine. What happened?
Okay, I have another question. So if somebody is finding that they're having a moment and they want to opt to stay behind or sit and rest, or it gets warm in Italy this time of
Yeah.
year. So if somebody wants to just bow out of something or stay behind and then catch up with the group after, that's totally able. I guess it depends where we're moving along to, right?
Correct. Yeah. So if we're moving, then it's a little bit more different. But I mean, if you're going to be staying in a place, and that's the beauty, because we have multiple nights in one destination, you could say, you know what, I don't want to do the hike, for example, when we're doing the Lemon Grove, we have a tour director that's managing all of these little things that there's nothing that they haven't seen. So if you decide that you don't want to do it, you don't have to. I had a group that just came back from Italy. They did one of our itineraries that does Tuscany. And there was a tour that was being done that one day, and they were spending multiple nights in the destination. And I talked to the travel advisor. She said it was great. She goes, because there were some ladies that were just like, you know what? I just want to sit and rest in the hotel, maybe have a nice glass of, wine. And there was about 6 or 7 of them that stayed behind to play cards. And that's
Good.
what they did. Right. So it's that type of, it's your vacation. You decide what it is that you want to do. Right.
That's far net niente, the
Yeah.
art of doing nothing.
Yeah.
Could be a day where it catches up with you. Like we've had that before in some of our
Mhm.
trips. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hold it, I need a little moment here. It's your vacation and how
Yes.
it needs to progress and what we need to do. That's up to you. It's all
Yes.
personal that way. So
Yep.
please never feel like, you can't say anything. Will we be going to the beaches given the heat, and do our hotels have pools?
I can find out about the pools, but most of the time, I mean, even with the free time, there's lots of, talking about the free time that we have, you're going to be on the coast. You want to go and dip your feet in the water? Go for it. What an amazing experience to say that you've dipped your feet in the waters of, the Mediterranean or the Adriatic. You're looking across some of these places, you're looking across to Greece from where you are, like that type of experience you'll never get back. So again, it's gentle pacing. It allows you to experience that for sure.
Yes. And you know what, ladies, forget the toes. You just want the full dunk. Then you say you went in.
Exactly.
It won't be a cold plunge. It'll be a nice warm one.
Oh
Okay.
gosh.
So I have a special here. And how are we going to do that? For the first 6 people that book into this trip,
See, somebody's already saying, can I sign up?
for the first 6 people that book into this trip, I am going to gift you the island of Capri excursion for free. So that is something that's my gift. And Anita. Yes. So there you go. There's that. You already have a credit card. You know what? I've done a 2-week Italy with the ladies before, And I have to say, this trip will be one of the trips, because we were go see do. We did Rome, Montepulciano. We were up in Lake Como. We were in Cinque Terre. We were in Venice. We were all over. We saw the Tour de France, leave Florence. We had some fantastic things. But a year later, a couple of us were going, blah, 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 blah. Italy is meant to be experienced. And this trip, to me, that's what I like so much about it, is that it offers that time. If you feel like doing more, with someone says to you, hey, let's go for a Hugo Spritz, because you have had an Aperol Spritz, but you've never had a Hugo Spritz, then you go and you meet Hugo. Yes. Oh, lost power now.